Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Martin Luther King. My name is Miss Andrea, and today's Educator moment is dedicated to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You see, today is Martin Luther King Day, a federal holiday that is held on the third Monday of every January. Martin Luther King is a civil rights leader, and today is dedicated celebrating all his achievements. Martin was born in Atlanta, Georgia, on January 15, 1929, and he went to segregated schools, which means that black children and white children were forced to go to different schools. Skipping 2 grade levels, he graduated when he was 15 years old, and he enrolled at Morehouse College, a distinguished HBCU. That's a historically black college university. After he finished at Morehouse, he went to Crozer Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania, where he studied theology for 3 years. Theology is the study of God, religion, and people's relationship to both. At Crozer, he earned a fellowship and enrolled at Boston University. There he received his doctorate in 1955. He met Coretta Scott and married her, and they had 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. Why am I telling you about the man rather than about all the things that he did for the civil rights movement? I think it's important to understand that Martin did all this at a very young age. He worked so hard and accomplished so much. And I think it's important to understand that because he had so much to lose by speaking out for what he knew was right, for speaking out for equality for all. If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way. Martin Luther King. So you may look at me and say, what can I do? I'm just a kid. But in reality, we have a lot of power as human beings, whether you're young or old. You have the power to make people feel good. You have the power to stand up for others. I will give you an example of that. I have worked for the museum for a while. I've worked with middle school students for a long time as a museum educator. And in that time, I have seen so many students do small things in great ways. And I'll give you an example. I'll tell you about Daniel, whose kindness has helped so many students. And I'm not even sure that he realizes it. I don't even know that he understands the impact he has had on other people. It doesn't matter whether that person's popular or not popular. It doesn't matter what color that person has of skin. It doesn't matter if other people treat that person bad or not, what they look like. Daniel only sees a person that needs help or kindness or encouragement, and he always steps up. And you say, but I'm here to tell you that that's life-altering for some people. If they're not used to being treated that way, and you have somebody that treats you that way, it could be life-altering. And I tell you because I had another student. I had a student that came and confided into me that she made her first true friend in my workshop, where the students are encouraged to work together and to create good community. That student was a good kid, but she was a little awkward, she was shy, and a little different. And I will tell you that the kindness and support that the other students gave her was so powerful that by the end of that school year, she had a group of friends. And that group of friends stayed friends until high school. That's life-altering. That's amazing. We have the power. You have the power. Martin Luther King became pastor of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. In 1955, he became the leader of one of the first nonviolent protests in the United States, the Montgomery bus boycott. lasted 382 days. 382 days. During those 382 days, Dr. King was arrested, his house was bombed, he was hurt and threatened, but he stood strong for what he believed in. He stood strong for that fight, and he did it with nonviolence. Dr. King believed strongly in nonviolent demonstration, and he was successful. A year later, the United States Supreme Court declared unconstitutional the law that required segregated busing. So now black people and white people could ride the bus equally, as equals. At the age of 35, Martin Luther King Jr. received the Nobel Peace Prize. He was the youngest person to have received it. On April 4th, 1968, Dr. King was assassinated at the age of 39. To honor King, there are many events and calls for action. And in fact, if you look at our daily broadcast here at the museum, you will see that there are other educators that have actions that you can take. What I would say for you, I would like to see action that is not just for one day, but something that we can change, small things, in great ways on a daily basis. To honor King, there are many events and calls of days of service. But I ask of you to not honor King just for one day, but to honor him on a daily basis by thinking of his words about doing small things in a big way, by standing up for others, for what is right on a daily basis. I leave you with one more quote from Martin Luther King. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? The best way to honor Dr. Martin Luther King is to answer this question with action. Action that we can take ourselves on a daily basis, doing small things in a great way, standing up for others and what we know is right. So, in that spirit, we here at the museum, the educators here, have decided that we will answer this call to action. And we will do things on a daily basis to enact small changes in great ways that we hope will become great actions. I asked other educators to share with us some of their actions, and this is what you see on this board here. My action is I will speak out for others who cannot speak out for themselves. And I will post this somewhere that I will see it on a daily basis, so I remember this. It's not too hard for me to do, because my mom, she was a person that always spoke up for others, always. I value that. I'm going to read you a couple more. This one is from Ileana. Be a good listener, not only to friends, but also to strangers who may need someone to lean on. Because you never know what somebody is going through, and you never know how you're interacting them. Think about the student I was telling you about. How you're interacting with them in that way will affect them. Maybe for a short term, maybe for a little while, or maybe forever. Something that affects them for the rest of their life. You have a lot of power. This one is from Lauren. Lauren says, educating the children for a future we will not see, so that they will do a better job than we have. These are very powerful. I love these calls for action. If you would like to join us in this call for action, if you would like to send us your action, we will include it on our board. But I leave you with these words from Dr. Martin Luther King. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. This is Miss Andrea signing off on Martin Luther King Day.